And we're back with you again on Okaloosa Eye on Crime, and this month we've got some cold case murders for you to review, and we're also going to have a heartwarming story about a local rescue dog who became a worldwide hero.
That's right, and of course we have many fugitives to profile so that you can hopefully help provide information on where to find them and potentially earn a cash reward from Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers, all without ever having to give your name. So let's get started. In our first case, a Walton County case, the investigators continue to search for answers in a 1977 homicide. This is on September 30th, 1971. 31-year-old Bobby Ray Jones went to work as a bartender at the Lone Branch in Darlington, Florida, located near the Alabama border in the northernmost part of Walton County. Now, the bar closed early that night, but Bobby Ray answered a knock at the door and let someone in. Minutes later, that person would shoot and kill Bobby Ray, and 54 years later, his family, friends, and local law enforcement are still searching for answers. So this case was actually also featured on the true crime podcast, The Deck, which you can check that out at thedeckpodcast.com to listen to the full story. But anybody with information, even 54 years later, give us a call, go to the website, or submit a mobile tip.
Another cold case, this one in Walton County as well, and it involves a 1995 very brutal homicide. In September of that year, 68-year-old Leroy Warren was found murdered in his Jackson Street home in Defuniak Springs. Investigators discovered his throat had been cut. So anyone with information on that unsolved crime can contact Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers, that is, anonymously.
And a Freeport homicide remains unsolved after more than 2 decades. On August 16, 2004, the remains of 25-year-old Manuel Mosquedo Ruiz were found on Magnolia Lodge Road in Freeport. An autopsy revealed he'd been shot. Now, more than 2 decades later, Walton County Sheriff's Office is still trying to piece together what happened to him. Now, Ruiz was from Mexico, had only been in the country for about a month, and he was working odd jobs in the construction field, both Freeport and Atlanta. Anybody with information, remember, you can remain 100% anonymous. Contact Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers.
And here's a case that's been nagging local law enforcement for a long, long time. In fact, it's been 28 years since 78-year-old Kimberly Raymer disappeared from her dad's home in Opp, Alabama. That was back on August 15th, 1997. The Walton County Sheriff's Office continues to work closely with the Opp Police Department in hopes of uncovering answers about her disappearance. Kimberly's car was found parked outside the home, but her purse, keys, wallet, and all of her shoes were left behind in her bedroom. Investigators did report signs of a possible struggle inside that room, and at the time she went missing, Kimberly was 17 years old, 5 foot 4 inches tall, and 130 pounds. So obviously, if anybody has any information on that, there's so many people that would like to solve that mystery.
Yes, and I know Kimberly's mother is just desperately seeking answers to find out what happened to her daughter. So even if it's a small bit of information, submit it to Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers. Now, if you're wondering if Crime Stoppers works, just listen to the 2025 year-to-date statistics. We've received 1,083 tips so far, which resulted in 48 arrests and cleared 73 cases for our local law enforcement partners. And our volunteer board of directors has approved $23,400 in rewards. I will also mention that only about 20% of those rewards have been picked up and claimed.
That's
so
amazing.
Always an interesting statistics. And we're going to start something new on the show this month, and that's going to be what we call the Did You Know segment, to kind of educate you about how Crime Stoppers works, when it should be used. And the first thing we want to talk about is Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers is not a law enforcement agency. You hear us say that quite often, and it should never be used in place of calling 911. If you're experiencing an emergency or an active, time-sensitive situation, always dial 911 so first responders can get to you quickly. Now, Crime Stoppers is here to help you share tips anonymously that can assist law enforcement with ongoing investigations, but not to replace emergency services.
And keep in mind, too, if you want to keep up with the Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers, there's a Facebook page that has a lot of the cases and a lot of information that you can always go and refresh your memory about some of these cold cases and fugitives that we're looking for.
You can also check us out on X and Instagram as well. And up next, the initial call came to the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office from a distraught husband concerned about his missing wife.
That's when an 86-year-old citizen took a tumble and had injured herself while walking her son's dog, and that took place in the Destin area recently. But it was that faithful four-legged friend who brought an OCSO deputy to the rescue.
And the deputy's body cam video shows how Eeyore's love and instincts brought the elderly resident the help she needed.
She just takes that dog, but she never takes more than 10 or 15 minutes. It's almost an hour now. It's over an hour now.
Okay, do you know what breed the dog is?
The dog's he's just a 100-pound dog.
Okay.
He's
Jalen Arnold. There's the dog. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Where's your mama? Hi. Hi, where's your mama? Where's your mommy? Hold on. Hold on, where's your mama? Show me where your mama is. Show me. Ma'am? I've got you, ma'am. 322, I've located her. Oh, hey, ma'am, can you tell me what happened? Oh, can you tell me what happened? Are you okay? Oh, 322 SO, can you have EMS en route to the golf course? She's laying here on the sidewalk, alert and conscious, but she may have injured herself.
Where were you when found you?
I was in front of that house right there. And then the dog ran up to me.
You,
I was right out here.
and the dog brought you.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't leave. He kept coming back to me.
Mm-hmm. He ran up to my car and I said, bring me to your mommy, and he ran back here.
He come up to your car.
Mm-hmm. Good
Oh,
boy.
sweetheart.
Good boy. Very good boy.
I'm not even his owner. I'm his grandmother.
Oh, you're such a good boy. You're so good. You're so good.
Oh, Eeyore, you're a good boy. Grandma loves you.
Good boy, Eeyore.
Now, we sat down with Deputy Devin Miller to hear what she had to say about this incident and the impact of this video, which went viral around the globe. There we go. Okay, so just to start with, Devin, what was going through your mind when the dog first approached you?
I was really excited. I was really worried at the start of the call just because it was nighttime and the area is somewhat wooded, but when he ran up to my car, I got really excited. I was like, oh, maybe, you know, he can lead me to her. I've seen movies where it happens, so I was hoping that maybe, you know, he could do that for me.
And what about, what were you feeling when it was leading you right towards where you realized the grandma was?
Relief, major relief. I was glad to hear her voice, so that I knew that she was alert and conscious, that she was okay. I was able to get her aid that way.
Perfect. Now, what credit would you give Eeyore for his assistance?
Eeyore's the main hero here. He deserves lots of belly rubs. He deserves a steak dinner. That dog did everything. He's the true hero.
He did everything right, didn't he?
Mhm.
What stood out to you about his behavior and how he was acting? Did he seem like he was on a mission?
He did. When he initially came up to my car, his tail was wagging, so he seemed happy, but he was panting. And then the second I grabbed the leash, you can't really tell in my body cam video, but he practically dragged me to her.
Yeah, you can see that it's like he knows exactly where
Yes.
he's going. There's not any confusion for him. What was the moment like when you realized you had in fact found her?
Like I said,
Oh, let me have you put your hands down. So there we go. Perfect.
like I said, it was a lot of relief just because I was able to assess the situation, see that she was okay, and that as far as I could tell, serious injury had occurred, that she was conscious and everything.
Okay. And then I know that deputies often help people day in and day out without getting any recognition. What has it been like to see the reaction to the body cam video?
It's definitely weird to see my body cam or my face everywhere. I'm not someone who typically likes to be in the center of attention, so it's strange. I woke up yesterday to tons of texts and screen captures of my body camera on my face, and it was definitely interesting.
So not something you were expecting?
No, not at all.
Okay, let me see what else I got here. Oh, and then what do you think about the fact that why this has touched people so much?
I think with everything going on in the world, people like to see, you know, these sweet, happy stories. Anything where the dog or an animal is involved, and I think people like that. It's a feel-good story. You know, the dog saves the day, and I think that's what people need right now.
And what sticks with you the most about this call?
I'd say even though Eeyore was definitely the hero here, I definitely felt good that I was able to help, and just hearing the distress in her husband's voice whenever he told me that she was missing, like I felt for him, and being able to tell them that I found her was just, it made me feel really good, and that stuck with me.
And media calls about the heartwarming case came in from across the nation, not just the United States, but as far away as Japan and India. But there's even more to Eeyore's story. The amazing dog went from being homeless and hit by a car to being on a euthanasia list.
But that's when LNR Rescue in Navarre stepped in and they saved Eeyore. He ultimately ended up in a very loving home and a national hero dog.
And Sheriff Eric Aiden and other members of the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office got a chance to meet Eeyore and his owner in person. The sheriff honored Eeyore with a special Canine Community Service Award.
And Deputy Miller was also on hand for that. Both she and Eeyore were presented a proclamation of praise from the Okaloosa Board of County Commissioners as well. And now moving into our first list of fugitives that you can help locate, and if you have information, all you have to do is call Crime Stoppers. You can use P3 Tips Mobile or EmeraldCoastCrimeStoppers.com. And keep in mind, you can always remain anonymous. You never have to give your name.
And we do want to remind you that all of these folks are wanted as of today's taping date, which is October 22nd, 2025. And first up, the Crestview Police Department is looking for Caitlin Courtney Murphy. She's 19 years old. She's wanted for felony aggravated animal cruelty.
And the Crestview PD is also looking for Stephen John Harrell. He's wanted for felony exploitation of the elderly.
Okaloosa deputies are still searching for 28-year-old Ryan Philip Francis Thomas for felony cruelty toward child, lewd and lascivious behavior on a victim 12 to 16 years of age, last known to live in Valparaiso.
Cordrick Markeith Brown is wanted by the Crestview PD for felony failure to appear on a charge of second-degree murder as well as VOP for robbery. Last known address was on Anderson Drive in Fort Walton Beach.
Here's one Walton County deputies are looking for. That's 36-year-old Robert Carlos Cruz. He's being sought for felony violation of probation, last known to live over in Panama City.
And give Crime Stoppers a call if you know anything about the location of Paul Austin Griner. Griner's wanted for felony sexual assault. His last known address was on Lambview Drive in Fort Walton Beach.
60-year-old Terry James Hennesser is wanted for felony failure to register as a sexual offender, last known to live in Valparaiso.
Triera Monique Searles, don't know if I butchered that, but that's what it looks like, was wanted by the Walton County Sheriff's Office for felony fraud.
Crestview police are searching for 42-year-old Pamela Renee Harris for felony burglary with assault or battery, last known to live up in Crestview.
And here's one that's been on the list for a little bit. Renee Izquierdo Lopez, 47 years old, and he's wanted for sexual battery on a victim under 12 years of age, as well as lewd and lascivious molestation.
Matthew Ryan Richard, who's 31 years old, he's wanted for felony violation of probation for travel to meet after use of a computer to lure a child.
And yet another sex crime, Timothy Tyler Turner. He's wanted for felony sexual battery and lewd and lascivious molestation. Turner was last known to live on Red Barrow Road in Baker.
And thanks to an anonymous tipster, we can report that Donald Ray Smith has been captured.
I'm trying to locate Clint Covey because he's wanted for felony failure to appear on 2 counts of battery on an officer or firefighter.
Here's a new face to this month's show. We don't have a photo, but it's 34-year-old Ivana Ann Brinson. She's wanted for felony aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
And no photo available as well for Ronald Schaefer. Schaefer's 67-year-old white male. He's wanted for felony aggravated battery.
But we do have a photo of 41-year-old Brian Keith McGee. He's wanted for felony violation of probation for grand theft, fraud, as well as organized communications fraud.
And this is Ann Margaret Mary Marsh. She's wanted for failure to appear on charges of theft and elderly abuse, last known to live on Madeline's Path in Fort Walton Beach.
62-year-old Denise Evelyn Freites, whose last known address was in Pensacola, she's wanted for felony violation of probation for DUI, fleeing and eluding law enforcement, and possession of a controlled substance.
We'd like to be able to locate Everett Keith Coward. He's wanted for felony aggravated animal cruelty, failure to appear for resisting arrest without violence, as well as possession of a controlled substance. His last known address, Carson Drive in Fort Walton Beach.
And here's Dontavius Rashad Hosley. He's wanted for felony failure to appear for fleeing and eluding larceny, resisting arrest without violence, and smuggling contraband into a detention facility.
And this felony failure to appear is for Lincoln Anthony Ricketts for driving with a license that had been suspended or revoked with prior convictions, as well as resisting arrest without violence and giving a false ID to law enforcement.
Wrapping up our first list is 37-year-old Alonzo Borum. He's wanted for felony failure to appear for fleeing and eluding law enforcement, resisting arrest without violence, possession of a controlled substance, and finally possession of narcotics equipment, last known to live on Shrewsbury Road in Mary Esther.
And we talk a lot on the show about training because training is going on all the time. That includes Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office SROs. They are in constant training mode and basically looking for anything that could threaten the safety of students in the schools. That's why their tactical exercises and decision-making drills are just always on the calendar for training.
On the other side, right? And you still have the rear guard. All right. Sit right up here and hold them in, right? I don't know, but
And here's some more folks that are on the run that we're trying to locate. We're going to start with 25-year-old Rogelio de la Cruz Rosquero, wanted for felony possession of child pornography, as well as use of a two-way communication device to facilitate a felony.
This is Dina Sue Enfinger. She's wanted for felony burglary and auto theft. She also has a warrant out of Holmes County as well.
And we don't have a photo of Ryan Quinn Buholtz, but he's 44 years old. He's wanted for felony driving while license suspended or revoked, reckless driving, and DUI with serious bodily injury to another.
And no pick available for James Clayton Foote, but he's a 57-year-old white male. Foote's wanted for felony burglary, illegal use of a credit card, theft, trespassing, and criminal mischief.
And here's 26-year-old Oswaldo Avalos Camacho. He's wanted for felony failure to appear for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and he was last known to live on Williams Court in Fort Walton Beach.
Casey Scott Dishman's last known address was in Destin. He's 39 and he's wanted for felony failure to appear for resisting arrest without violence, possession of controlled substances with intent to sell, as well as other drug charges.
44-year-old Richard Kelly Harrison, who's being sought for fraud, and he was last known to live in Milton.
This is Donald Joe Mitchell. Mitchell's wanted for DUI and driving with a license that had been suspended or revoked. He was last known to live in Navarre.
Walton County deputies are searching for Chrissy Michelle Thornton for felony violation of probation.
Antonio DeJean Wallace up next. He's wanted for felony illegal use of credit cards, fraud, theft, and burglary.
Another addition to this month's show is 23-year-old Nigel Tymir Hiram Fryer. He's wanted for felony burglary and grand theft, last known to live on Bob Sykes Boulevard in Fort Walton Beach.
And moving back over to the Walton County Sheriff's Office, they're trying to locate Bradley Scott Weinheimer. He's wanted for felony violation of probation.
Back to Okaloosa, that's 55-year-old Tad Keith Bowers. He's being sought for violation of probation on the original charge of child neglect.
Jermaine Allen Hawkins is up next, but he does not have a photo available. He is a 45-year-old black male, and Hawkins is wanted for felony fraud.
And we don't have a photo of Carol L. Hardy either, but she's 67 years old, and she's wanted for felony exploitation of an elderly person, last known to live on Wilson Street up in Crestview.
Clenny Terrell Davis is wanted for felony VOP for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and grand theft. His last known address was on Auburn Road in Crestview.
Here's 25-year-old Christian Devontae Nix. He's wanted for felony failure to appear for fleeing and eluding law enforcement, operating a vehicle without a license, as well as destroying evidence. Last known to live on 4th Avenue in Shalimar.
And here's someone that needs to be tracked down as well. It's Scotty Wade Anthony Gisclair. He's wanted for multiple counts of felony failure to register as a sexual offender. Last known address was in Baker.
And we have some more good news to report. That is that Joyce Jean Richmond has been located since our last show.
Still on the lookout for Reginald Lowell Sanders, that is the third, wanted by Walton County Sheriff's Office for felony grand theft.
And we're still looking for David Michael Williams. He's wanted for felony violation of probation for multiple counts of grand theft, theft from the elderly, and fraud. Last known to live on John Sims Parkway in Niceville.
Our next person is Brennan Shane Dickinson. He's wanted for felony possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon, burglary, larceny, as well as violation of probation, that is. Last known address, Harmony Lane in Crestview.
And here's Angela Dawn Tripp. She's 55 with a last known address on Crown Creek Circle in Crestview. She's wanted for failure to appear for exploitation of elderly.
And last on this list of fugitives, we have Tyler, that is, Hazelrig. He's wanted for felony failure to register as a sexual offender, last known to live on 23rd Street in Niceville. Now, Okaloosa County's two very renowned crime scene technicians recently left after many, many years of outstanding service on their way to enjoy what I would call some very well-deserved retirements, along with a veteran deputy from the OCSO.
And meantime, some new additions were welcomed to our law enforcement family.
Got a beautiful family.
I've had a wonderful time here. I've met so many wonderful people in investigations and working so close with everyone, and I feel like you're a family rather than just, co-workers. So I've definitely enjoyed my time from being in the posse here to today. So I thank you so much for letting me be part of this family.
Build our crime scene unit to what it is right now. I mean, we would not have the crime scene unit we have today if it weren't for these two. And, over the last year, with them knowing that they were leaving, they didn't miss a beat. They made sure that while they're moving on to better things in life, that the sheriff's office continues to have that high standard in our crime scene investigation.
Well, Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers joined with Santa Rosa Crime Stoppers as well as Gulf Coast Crime Stoppers over in Pensacola to host a tri-annual Florida Association of Crime Stoppers meeting here in Destin this month. And we had participants from all over the state of Florida. Now, the Florida Association of Crime Stoppers is an umbrella organization for all Florida Crime Stoppers programs. And we get together to network, discuss ideas, what's working, best practices, and those kind of things. So Michelle actually provided a wonderful presentation, but lots of good training and a very good time. So enjoy the photos. I know we appreciate Michelle coming out, and we appreciate everybody that attended.
And one of the highlights of that conference was senior investigator Kelly Henderson from the Sheriff's Office. She came in and talked about the Jesperson case, also known as the Happy Face Killer. So Keith Jesperson's last victim or final victim that they know of had been found back in Okaloosa County decades,
in the 90s, yeah.
In the 90s. And Kelly and the medical examiner's office, as well as the state attorney's office, all worked together to identify that final victim and found out who she was, got her name, and were able to charge him with that final case. So that was a really informative
Yes, I had
presentation.
so many people that attended the meeting come up afterwards and say how much they enjoyed that and how much they actually got from it. So.
Yeah, and to see that many years after the crime, that there was still effort being put in there to find out who this victim was and let her family know and bring them some closure.
Never
So,
give up on cold cases.
That's right.
So we
Well
never
done,
do.
Kelly.
And we're going to go to our next list of fugitives. So take a look at them. Let us know if you know where they might be hiding out. We're going to start with 57-year-old Brad William Evans. He's wanted for felony failure to appear for possession of a firearm, carry a concealed weapon, and possession of narcotics and equipment.
Jose Alberto Hernandez Cruz up next, wanted for failure to appear for DUI as well as 2 counts of child neglect, last known to live on Airport Road in Destin.
And here's 49-year-old Cameron Emmanuel Sanders, who's being sought for fleeing and eluding law enforcement, driving while license suspended or revoked, and resisting arrest, last known to live on Lark Street in Fort Walton Beach.
And here's another one of those felony transmission of material harmful to a minor cases. There's a warrant out for Vincent Jackson. No photo available. He's a 33-year-old black male, and he's also wanted for using a two-way communication device to facilitate a felony.
51-year-old John Darwin Jesford, he's wanted for felony violation of probation for possession of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia.
This is Cheyenne Lee Gentry. Gentry's wanted for VOP on charges of possession of methamphetamine, last known address Oak Terrace Drive in Crestview.
And 66-year-old James Clinton Brinkley Jr., who was last known to live in Pensacola, he's wanted for violation of probation for battery.
Same here for Zachary Ryan Steen, but it's felony aggravated battery with a weapon, last known address Old Ferry Road in Shalimar.
Here's one that's been on the show for quite a while. That's 49-year-old David Allen Bobbitt, and he's being sought for fraud.
This is Timothy Lee Davis, no pick available, 41-year-old black male wanted for felony use of a two-way communications device to facilitate a felony and sexual assault, last known to live on Southern Court in Crestview.
And unfortunately, we don't have a photo either for Tristan Dean Mullins, but he's a 28-year-old white male. He's wanted for felony use two-way communication device to facilitate a felony, promoting sexual performance by a child, and sexual assault, last known to live on Deer Avenue in Niceville.
43-year-old David Richard Abbott wanted for felony failure to appear for resisting arrest without violence and possession of a controlled substance.
Here's 51-year-old Leon Leslie Chandler. He's wanted for violation of probation for driving while license suspended or revoked and possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon.
Please contact Crime Stoppers if you have any information on Brian Valenzuela Castillo. He's wanted for failure to appear for lewd behavior with a victim 12 to 14. His last known address was Tyner Street in Fort Walton Beach.
39-year-old white male Blake Elliott Gundred, he's wanted for VOP for grand theft, trafficking in stolen property, and providing false information to a pawnbroker.
And this is Timothy Ryan McDonald, who's wanted for felony VOP for burglary and theft, last known to live on Oxford Court in Mary Esther.
And here's one Crestview Police Department's looking for, 46-year-old Taisha Nicole Harris. She's being sought for felony intimidation, sending written threat, last known to live on Connor Drive in Crestview.
And another sad case, Christine Chadwick. We don't have her photo available, but she's wanted for cruelty to animals and resisting arrest without violence.
27-year-old Aisha Marie Nathan is wanted for failure to appear for vehicle theft, last known to live in Fort Walton Beach.
Virginia Lee Cole's last known address was Edgewater Drive in Crestview. Coles is wanted for felony battery on a person 65 or older.
Here's 66-year-old Felipe Carrera Gonzalez Sr. He's wanted for felony failure to appear for battery as well as non-payment of child support, last known to live over on Earl Street in Fort Walton Beach.
And George Emmerich II has to be out there somewhere, but he is wanted by the OCSO for VOP on charges of domestic violence, strangulation, and aggravated battery. He has been on the list for a while.
Now, this is one that's been on the show for several years. It's actually a warrant back from 2015, but we're not giving up. That's 41-year-old Alexis Wilmer Mondragon. He's being sought for sexual battery, sex offense against a child, and lewd and lascivious molestation.
That'd be a great one to find.
Yes.
Check off the list. Next up is Daniel Lewis Davis. He's wanted for VOP for burglary, that is. Last known address was in Crestview.
Some more good news, and that is that Roderick James Rutterson Jr. has been located.
Still looking for Kristen Marie Chandler. Chandler's wanted for failure to appear for fleeing and eluding law enforcement.
And Walton County deputies are still searching for James Anthony Williams for violation of probation for possession of a controlled substance, possession of marijuana, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
And winding down now, we've gotten to Tony Wayne Poland. Poland's wanted for failure to appear for criminal mischief, burglary, and theft, last known to live in Freeport.
And our final wanted this month is 29-year-old Cole Rutland Graninger, he's wanted for violation of probation for aggravated stalking and burglary.
So that is a lot of material to review, but we thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.